If you could drop off the grid, could you do it? Would you do it? How would you do it? Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Happy Monday. It is the Microdose. Thank you, as always, for watching and liking and your kind comments, and for subscribing and sharing these videos with your friends. I appreciate it. It means the world to me. It really does. I want to follow up on just a little something from, was it the last video? God, I'm losing track. Where I was talking about brakes and Paul brakes specifically, because I talk about them a lot, and I get the question, why? Why Paul brakes? What is it about Paul brakes? And I get it if you haven't used them, because they're quite expensive. And so the answer that I gave in the comments was, it's pretty simple, actually. The brakes are very well made. They are dirt simple to set up. And this goes for not only the clampers, but the rim brakes as well. They use a common brake pad. Both the rim brakes and the clampers use a Coolstop brake pad, so it's not proprietary. It's not some funky shape that has to fit in there. You should be able to get them just about anywhere. If you have clampers on your bike, and it's set up with, let's say, cantilevers and drop bars and road levers, and you want to put V-brakes on that bike and a swept-back bar, do you have to replace the entire brake? Do you have to buy a new set of clampers? No. No, you do not, my friends, because you can change out the actuator arms on those brakes. So you can change a short pull brake to a long pull brake in about 30 seconds. Now you got to buy the actuator arm, but it's not nearly as expensive as buying a new set of brakes. The clampers can be taken apart and rebuilt. And on top of it all, from my experience, they're just really nice people. So, yeah, that's in a nutshell why I really like Paul brakes. And for those of you that asked the question, I hope that answers it. And for those of you that were just thinking the question, I hope that answers it. I have to remind myself from time to time just how lucky I am. I'm lucky that I've been able to work in a business that I enjoy for the better part of my life. I've essentially owned my own business for nearly the last 20 years. And while that certainly has its difficulties, it's very rewarding as well. And then on top of all of that, because of this, I get to communicate with people now, all over the world. And that's kind of mind-blowing. And people send me things from time to time, not often, and that's fine, but they do from time to time. And I have a customer, and, I would go so far as to say that, we may not be friends. I don't get invited to his kids' birthday parties. But we're close acquaintances, let's call it that. And he's made a 3-hour drive on a handful of occasions to either buy bikes or come to events. And, that really means a lot to me. And he sent me, some time ago, this book. And quite honestly, I had forgotten I had it. because I've never been a big reader. I've mentioned this before, but I found it last week, and I decided to read it. Because I've said many times, I think in 2020 I read more than I did in my entire life, including all the years that I was in school. And I don't think I'm alone there. But The Stranger in the Woods, The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit. I am not a fast reader. I tend to get distracted. I read this book in 3 days. It is a fascinating story about a guy who, when he was 20, and we are about the same age, the focus of the book, and he just walked off the grid, disappeared into the woods of Maine, and lived there for, as near as makes no difference, 20 years. Essentially undiscovered. He did run into a few people, or a couple of people, on a couple of different occasions. But yeah, I mean, fascinating. And it got me to thinking, I'm on this whole, kind of every 3-year purge and, getting rid of belongings and downsizing my life. But there's no way. I mean, that's extreme. Obviously, it's extreme. They wrote a book about it. But if you're interested in the book, I will put the link down in the description. Obviously available on Amazon, and, your local library probably has it too, for that matter. Fascinating stuff. And, worth the read. I'm a little preoccupied today because my baby brother is to be married this week. And so I'm shooting a bunch of videos today so that I don't miss anything while I'm gone. And I'm also going to take a camera, and if I run into anything that I think is interesting, I may do some bonus stuff for Patreon. Thanks as always. Until next time, be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can. I'll talk to you soon.